Hey, what's up, gang? This is Dominic D'Angelo of adfreeshows.com, SEScoops.com, and brassringmedia.com. Check it out. But today, it's a Wednesday. You know what that means. It is a Justin Barrasso Wednesday. We are not the triple threat today. It is just me and Justin Barrasso of Undisputed. Justin, how are you, man?
Missing Robert, obviously, but it's nice to be here with you. And thanks to all those who tune in. Should be a fun. So much going on right now. Should be a fun show.
Yeah, we got SummerSlam to preview. We're going to preview Dynamite tonight. And we're going to get some additional thoughts here. I will lead it off with this. Hulk Hogan obviously passed away since you were last on the show. And, man, sent some reverberations, not just around the wrestling world, but pop culture world as well. You wrote an article remembering Hulk Hogan on Undisputed. Very poignant quotes that you got from Hogan, giving further context to some of what he thought about his legacy and everything to that effect. Why don't you talk about your thoughts about Hulk Hogan's passing? And then overall, give a little info about the article, too.
And I thought of you last week, too, Dominic, because I know I think the first time we spoke, actually, you reached out to me about Terry Funk, connecting with Terry Funk and, doing what I could to connect you to. And you guys ended up building a relationship before he passed. And
yes,
it's meaningful, right? I mean, these childhood icons. So with Hulk, we started, it was over a decade ago we started speaking. And, there was always a mutual respect, and I enjoyed covering them. And some of the pieces at the beginning were a little less than pleasant, right? Speaking of the controversies. And then over time, when you speak with Terry Bollea or you speak with, what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about pro wrestling. And I'll listen all day to AWA stories or NWO stories, or even early WCW. I mean, you pick a point from Hogan's career. He's so fascinating. I remember years ago, and it was just poorly promoted, Dom. It was somewhere outside of Boston, south of Boston, and it was like a signing and a Q&A with Hogan, and Jimmy Hart was there, and the room was empty. There were only a handful of us. And I remember thinking to myself, I wasn't writing yet. I may have just been out of college, and the stories he was sharing, these are incredibly riveting stories. This guy is I never knew he was such a big wrestling fan. So I think with Hulk, with Terry, there was a lot of misconception, and I know not everyone liked Hulk, and there can be a separation certainly between the person and the performer. And if you don't like Hulk, you're entitled to that opinion too. You don't need me to tell you that. But the contributions he made to pro wrestling were second to none in terms of what he did for wrestling, in terms of the star he became, the pop culture icon. There's nobody like Hulk Hogan. So when I was writing that story, I thought, do I reach out to some contacts, or do I reach out to some other stars, or do I reach out to, or do I kind of just pull from our interviews? And that's the direction I went, just because I thought he gave such fascinating insight over the years. But yeah, I was floored that he passed away. I know we'd all heard the rumors that he wasn't doing well, but to hear someone's passed, it felt sudden, even if maybe he'd been struggling in ICU for a little while. So yeah, huge loss. And I thought the package they did on SmackDown was nice. NXT was nice. I thought the one on Raw was the best of all three.
100%. I agree with you on that. I watching that, I was a Hogan kid as a little kid, but and I don't know if I mentioned this to you, but he was the same age as my dad when he passed. My dad hasn't passed away, but he was same age as my dad. And so, yeah. And so somebody that you grew up with is so influential about part of the wrestling world and what I'm doing today and what you're doing today. It definitely hit a different kind of note. And especially that video package on Monday, I thought was really, really well done. And it's obviously Hogan's a mixed bag with a lot of people. And, but you hear so many of these stories that we obviously are aware of the audio and everything to that effect. But you hear all these other stories unsurface about what he's done for people behind the scenes. And that's just not friends. That's fans and everything like that. The time he's taken out of that. I literally saw a video 2 days ago of him praying with a young girl with leukemia and stuff like that, and taking the time on his Real American Beer Tour to do that stuff. There's just different layers to everybody, and it's just the reaction has been so polarizing online.
Even our last couple of calls, which were, there were interviews, right? But we would get off track, and sometimes he would talk politics, or sometimes a lot of times he talked religion. And all I'm thinking to myself was, man, can we get back to the NWO discussion we were having? But of course, his religion was very important to him. Yeah, I think with Hogan, it can be complicated, but for me, I'll always, if I had personal interactions with someone, I'll always think of that too. And just in terms of, if you look at just the performer, Hulk Hogan, the performer, I always put Steve Austin on a pedestal. To me, it's those two. But Rock's great. Rock just didn't do it long enough. But it was Austin. But Austin and Hogan to me are 1A and 1B, with the exception being Hogan did it twice, and that's why there's nobody like him. He did it in the 80s, and then he did it again in the 90s with the NWO. So, it's and listening to, I thought it was really insightful and emotional, and I thought it was powerful. The Kevin Nash Click This podcast that he does with Sean Oliver. Yeah, they did a great job, and I thought it's got to be tough for Kevin. I mean, this is one of your running mates, one of your brothers on the road, and so I thought they did a tremendous job, really, as a tribute to Hulk, but it was honest too.
Yeah.
It's a huge loss for wrestling.
It is, and it will reverberate for quite a while, no doubt about it. And I think, that signifies like an era of wrestling it still carries on, but it's not, Hogan not being with us is a different kind of story happening. So,
and I can't think of a more polarizing figure in wrestling other than Vince McMahon. Like, I think Hogan, it was complicated with Vince. It's a whole nother level. So, I thought Vince's tribute was nice too. So, yeah, I mean, death is complicated in general, but in terms of what Hogan brought to, or in terms of what Terry Bollea brought to wrestling as Hulk Hogan, will never be duplicated.
Absolutely, never be duplicated for sure. So cool, awesome. Get your thoughts on that. So I spoke about this yesterday. Unreal released yesterday on Netflix, and you filled me in that it was a full 5 episodes that are already out there. I told everybody I haven't watched it yet. I'll get to it, but I just know that I kind of like to keep some of the backstage stuff behind the scenes, but I know at some point I'll have to watch it just to get my intake or my thoughts on it. But Justin, you watched it, correct?
I watched all 5 episodes. Felt like I was binging Stranger Things or something like that. And I'll write about it in my column today. I wrote about it. I haven't posted the column yet, but I don't want to give spoilers because in the column, at least I can mention. So if somebody's watching, out of respect to them, I will say I thought a lot of the controversy backstage was contrived. Like they weren't real controversies. And there's clips out there, but for instance, there's they always go too deep. I feel like with Charlotte Flair and Ashley, she's so talented, but they go into the moment, and it's pretty good TV. They go into the moment where Tiffany allegedly goes off script. Triple H, Paul Levesque is saying, was that in the script? And she talks about Charlotte being 0 for 3 in her marriages. And then you hear Triple H say, he's talking to Tiffany. And then you hear him say to one of the agents or one of the writers, maybe it was Ed Koski, one of the writers, that she needs to apologize. And that was the end of it. Like they didn't go back into, like that was a real controversy behind the scenes. Like that's something I think people wanted to see more of. Instead, I just think that they were so focused on, it's classic WWE, creating their own controversy, creating their own storylines, which doesn't surprise me in a reality TV type series. I guess I was expecting a little bit more. I would still highly recommend the show. I thought it built up well. I thought episode 3, 4, and 5 were really strong. And I hope, Dom, it's the beginning. I hope it's not the end, because if this is the first step into the Unreal series, I think they could do a lot with it, especially if they want to get real. But if it's just going to be like this, I would still recommend watching.
Do you think it takes away from just a fan straight up watching the product? Like,
so I thought about that. I don't think so. I don't. In 2025, but there really weren't too many, there were a couple things. There was trying to think. There was Cody and Kevin Owens after the Rumble match. But I don't know. KO was just on Cody's podcast. Clearly they're close, right? And really they were talking about each other's health. Like they weren't so much talking about the match. They were talking about spots in the match where one of them could have got hurt, and they were really happy that they were both healthy. Like, I don't see anything wrong with that. Trying to think of, to me, was there one other moment with The Rock and Cody backstage? I mean, I think we know by now these guys don't genuinely, there's no real disdain for one another, right? It's on the show. So I didn't think so. And I thought Cena and I think his current heel run's been a mixed bag. I thought the Ric Flair quote on Ariel Helwani this week was interesting when he said John's such a great good guy in real life. So it's hard to play that. It's hard to project as that bad guy. I thought Cena was really good. Cena still didn't open up, which I thought was great. Like, here's this behind the scenes show. We're going to tell you everything you want to know, everything you don't know, everything you shouldn't know. And John's like, yeah, I'm not going to get into that. I don't know. I just thought that was funny.
That's great too, because it's like
it is.
Cena has such a misconception, especially during his prime, how everybody was just like, oh, F you Cena sucks, all that stuff. But here he's very much an old school mindset at the same time too.
100%. Yeah. And John is a cut from a different cloth. But in terms of, I thought about that too. Like, would this insult wrestling fans or insult wrestling? No. Did it know what it was? I don't think so. Like, it didn't know whether it was for new fans because they explained an awful lot, or was it for, like, to me, like, I would call you or the people that watch this show and that write in, I would call them season ticket holders. Like, we're not going anywhere, right? Like, we are committed. I don't know if the Unreal knew who it was for. If it was for new fans, because they certainly want to draw new fans. If it was for the season ticket holders, I don't think they knew. And I think that's why you need more seasons. And you could easily build this around Mania every year, or you could build it around, they can do it around SummerSlam. They could do it at the end of the year. They could build it around Cena's farewell. I don't know. I just thought the real stories, the really good ones, they didn't want to get into. They wanted to tell you their version of stories, like Raw going over time-wise on the Netflix premiere, which I don't know if I believe that, or a match. Chelsea Green wanted to win with her finisher and not a leg drop. Well, obviously she wants to win with her finisher, right? Like, sure. I just thought a lot of that stuff was contrived. About like the Cena heel turn or the New Day heel turn. Again, I would say still watch it. It's fascinating. And I'd be really curious to hear your take on it, Roberts, and the people who write in as well.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what Robert has to say, considering he was like in the rooms and during that kind of stuff. So to get his insight about how it really is all laid out and what they kind of portrayed on there is different. I kind of, from how it seems, it's like the Vince McMahon documentary, casual fans would come up to me and be like, hey, did you watch the Vince doc? Like, what'd you think of that? Or they would tell me about the Vince doc. And I was like, oh yeah, all those stories, like, it's kind of what we've heard and thought before. And so I'm curious, what my impression of is behind the scenes of how WWE would portray it is probably maybe what Unreal is going to be like too. At the same time.
Yeah. To me, you always write or you produce these for the season ticket holders because the casuals will come if it's good enough.
Yeah.
And their opinion's the opposite, right? Like, let's get the casuals. The diehards will always follow. So I guess I get a different view. I didn't like the writers' room segments. I thought those were, and I'd be curious to hear Robert, who lived those moments. It felt like they knew the cameras were rolling, and they spoke. It felt like it was like, all right, we're gonna do this for this show now. Like, it felt very. It did not feel authentic at all. I was disappointed in that part of it.
Interesting. Yeah. Oh, I'm definitely interested to hear what Robert will have to say then.
Yeah. I'd be surprised if he thought that was legitimate.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's say hi to some folks in the chat here real quick before we carry on. Nesha, an old school friend of mine from the days I did a show with my brother, Two Dynamite Dudes. Good morning, Dom.
Hogan, what title belt was that on? That was a nice belt.
That is a nice belt. What do you got there, Nesha? Is that the United States Championship? I can't tell. No, I don't think it is. I wonder what that is, Nesha. Tell us.
And she's holding it like a real champion.
Right, like a real champ.
Yeah.
Good to see you, Nesha. Jeff Henninger chimes in. First time catching a live show is Justin. Hopefully no one steals his shoes. How about that to close out Raw last on Monday?
Yeah.
Pretty funny stuff. He says, just watched all of it yesterday. Not bad. Feels like nothing we have really seen before in WWE. So that's Jeff's perspective.
Can we stay on Jeff's point for a second? That's
sure,
100%. That's it. Like, that is exactly, Jeff, I agree. They just put a different name on it, and they put a different tagline. It was Unreal. It was Netflix. But yes, it was the exact same thing. Yeah, I agree.
I'm almost kind of relieved in a certain way because I really would not want to. I mean, I know we, as the season ticket holders, want to see more back and the ongoings and everything like that. But if they're putting a narrative out there that they're preaching, I'm kind of like relieved because it's like, okay, so it's still wrestling. It's still kayfabe.
There was occasionally, so I'd be curious when you watch this, or like there were moments, and again, I still recommend watching it.
Yeah.
There was the moment and the camera, this to me was legitimate. The camera was behind a circle of it was the men's elimination chamber match, and the guys are in a circle, and it's mostly Punk leading the discussion at this point, talking about how certain things are going to go. And I thought that was really interesting because the camera was well behind them, and it was almost like you were eavesdropping on their discussion, which typically wasn't the style they did on Unreal, which tells me that one was probably more authentic than the others.
Yeah.
And you only got a snippet of it, and they didn't do it again. So they were still very guarded about things like that.
I think if I'm WWE, I think that's a good way to do it, honestly, like to market yourself. But yeah, from our perspective and from people that want more intel and, stuff, it's a little different bit of a story. Derek, CU Communications, two of my favorites. Keep doing great things, fellas. Real quick, for super fans, I can see it being a little disappointed. My wife and son, who aren't as big of a nerd as I am, they loved it. So yeah, that speaks to what we're talking about.
There you go. And I still recommend it. I don't know. I think you want the world for these things, but I guess this is such a, who was the gentleman that just wrote in?
That was Derek, the good PR for CU.
Oh, of course. Yes. Yeah. DC. I still feel like when they first, did you remember the roundtable discussions?
Yeah.
It wasn't, but like with Mean Gene hosting, it was almost like they didn't know what they had. So you got gold out of it. I feel like now everything's just so overproduced, and that Unreal was certainly did fall into that realm. But it's nice to know other people. Again, I'd still recommend it.
Yeah, and I'll definitely have to check it out too for sure. Hey, what we're gonna check out tonight is AEW Dynamite. They're still in their residence for Chicago coming up here, and man, they got quite the card here tonight, Justin. The headline, obviously, is the AEW World Championship match. Everybody banned from ringside. It's Hangman Page, the champion, taking on Jon Moxley. What do you think's going to go down in this one here, Justin? Dre Owens chimes in. The real question is, who wins tonight, Mox, Hangman, or MJF? Yeah, MJF is the wild card. What do you see happening here tonight?
I think it's going to be very different than it needs to be very different than All In. And I'm kind of bought in now. I'm kind of excited for this match. And at first, I thought we needed to go away from Moxley. I think Moxley's going to do in a different way what he did for Hangman at All In, and that's make him cement this championship run or further cement this championship run, give him what he needs to start off as champ. And I think they do that in a very different match than they did at All In. I don't know where you put this on the show. Like, to me, this is a show. This is almost a match you go middle of the show. Could you end with it? Sure. It's just so unique with. When's the last time we had a real title match without interference? Right. I mean, and All In took it to a next level, a next stratosphere with, like, if you compare it to WrestleMania 40, they went so much further with the interference. So I'm excited. Can they do it without blood? I don't know. But I feel like you need it to be very different, than All In.
100%, I'm with you on that because, yeah, you got a lot of schmoz going on when it had happened and All In, a lot of action happening. I mean, we're still going to get action, but I would like a different type of action. And yeah, maybe as something more definitive. I mean, in my grand scheme of mind, I would be like, I hope this signifies an end for the Death Riders upcoming, or they're getting on that train to do something like that and move away.
Or a new beginning. Right.
New beginning kind of thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm intrigued. Definitely a good match to check out. We also have an AEW World Tag Team Title Eliminator Tournament. It's the quarterfinals. We got the Outrunners. That's Turbo Floyd and Truth Magnum. They're battling the Young Bucks. Have you liked what they've done with the Young Bucks with out their EVP label? And what do you think is going to happen here?
I do. I think it's a fresh coat of paint for them. I'm curious where we go. I still think you need it kind of goes back to TNA with the Dudleys and the Hardys. If they're going to have this one last final go, like, I think they need a third team in there. I think if we do Edge Christian or Copeland Christian, and I think you need the Bucks in there. I think you'd want that to be I don't know why you wouldn't want that to be a 3-team match. I just think Edge and Christian can still go, but I think that covers a lot of their, I don't want to say age, or it fills in the gaps to have the Bucks around. So you have the Bucks, FTR. After what the Bucks did with, and I think we underestimated that match at All In against Swerve and Ospreay, because I know Swerve and Ospreay have teamed together over the years, but they're not a traditional tag team. That match was spectacular. So I'm excited to see where they go next as non-EVPs, and I still feel like they have one more run as EVPs in them. So I'll be curious where we go next. And I will say about the main event, Tom, before we move on entirely.
Sure, yeah.
Please, let's stick to the stipulation too. Like, I can't tell you how flummoxed I'll be if we have interference tonight.
Right.
And it's hard for me to, and this is terrible, right? It's hard for me to envision a main event without, or a world title match without, after the bloodline and during the ongoing Cena run, and with the Death Riders, like everything, the lights go out or somebody comes in the ring. Like, I will be genuinely surprised in a nice way if we don't see interference tonight.
That would be fantastic. Yeah, I hope we get something definitive, and I hope we don't get any interference, because, I mean, if you think about it, if they do something like that, you're not only kind of indirectly hurting the goodwill of your fans of what you're promoting and what's going on, you're affecting the story, and in turn, you're making your referees and your officials and the law and authority overall of what your wrestling company is supposed to be look diminished as well. So,
and Hangman doesn't have that clean one-on-one. I mean, he's got the death match wins. Texas, you get 2 of them, right? But he doesn't have that clean one-on-one win. The MJF question's good. I just think, like Rollins, you've got such a good story with MJF. You don't want to use it up. Less than a month? What was All In, the 11th, somewhere around there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
The 12th or the whatever it was.
I'd be totally fine. Say if they go knocked out, drag out brawl kind of happening, and it ends up Hangman gets that definitive pinfall win against Moxley. They're both laid out. MJF comes out, steals a win, and gets the championship. And then you tease him and Bobby Lashley moving forward, and then you get Hangman going on to something else or chasing again. So.
Yeah, it's a big night. It can go a lot of ways. I'm excited. I do hope they stick with the clean finish. But like, again, what a fun night. And I think that the more competition we have in wrestling, we talked about TNA the last couple of weeks. The better they get, the better it is for wrestling. Like, it's a good thing. I mean, I don't know. This is pure speculation, but like, wouldn't it make sense for TNA if they want to run live every week and they're partnered with WWE? Wouldn't it make sense for them to run on Wednesdays?
Oh,
like, again, yeah. As wrestling fans, like, that'll be great for us. It just makes everything better.
That is great for not just TNA and WWE. That's great for AEW, because if you have somebody you're going up against, you're going to try to put, to the pun not intended, all out on what you want to do with all that stuff, and make sure you're putting your best product forward. I would hope if that happened, like Tony Khan would kind of assess what he's been doing and correct some courses on certain aspects of the show and the product too as well.
It forces you, right. You have to move at a different speed.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
Right.
And you think back, I always think back to the Monday Night Wars in the 90s. Neither Nitro or Raw would have been that good if they were on opposite nights.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I mean, fact of the matter.
Boy, no doubt about it, man. We were definitely blessed back then. That's for sure. As wrestling
the VCR got a lot of play. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It did. It definitely did. Hey, we're gonna get a lot. You guys can get a lot of play this weekend with MyBookie, especially SummerSlam happening this weekend. You guys be sure to check it out. You can have a little fun, extra added fun watching SummerSlam both nights. Cody Rhodes has the crowd, momentum, and the main event, but something about the street match with John Cena feels a little different. The street fight could get ugly in ways we don't expect, and Cody might finally snap. At MyBookie, it's what you bet on. It's not just who wins, but how it happens. The moment, the chaos, and with SummerSlam finally here, they're giving you every tool to hit. Other books give you the odds. MyBookie gives you the edge. Daily bet boosts, extra plays for wagering, and unlimited cash when your friends sign up. Oh, yeah. If you didn't know, you can legit use your own referral code to claim unlimited bonuses. To get started, hit up mybookie.ag and use promo code RUMOR and cash in with a bonus on your first deposit. Drop in 100, get 50 added free. Go bigger, and MyBookie throws in even more. SummerSlam is built for drama. MyBookie is built for getting paid. Bet on anything, anytime, anywhere, guys. Check it out. Yeah, if you're interested, have a little extra fun with MyBookie.
What does a gambler love more than a long shot? He's not a long shot, but he's the underdog. I cannot see, if I ever go on MyBookie, I will be putting money on, if I do, John Cena. I just don't see how Cena loses the title on Sunday, the whole storyline, unless you want to revert course, unless you want to change directions. But the whole Cena storyline is him ruining wrestling, holding on to this belt till he leaves. And he's going to lose the belt the 3rd day of August. It just doesn't make sense to me. Then again, how do you have Cody lose? Mm-hmm. That doesn't make sense to me. So to me, SummerSlam, that main event is really interesting. But I believe Cody's the odds favorite to win. So if you wanted to make a bet, I'd be curious the odds on MyBookie.
Yeah. It is intriguing. I can't remember what I said yesterday. I think he was like a plus 300, I want to say.
Wild.
Well, I'm sorry. Cena would be the plus 300.
Right.
Cody was favored.
Yeah. And I think Cena's going to win.
Yeah. So, hey, guys, if you're interested, if you trust your own instincts and want to make a wager, feel free to with my bookie. Yeah, let's talk about it. SummerSlam preview here. I'm not going to be here for the rest of the week. I know you're not going to be here. So let's give our own little quick preview of what's going to go down at SummerSlam.
Are you staying in New York or New Jersey? Let's get to the good stuff.
Yeah, Jersey so I'm staying in Jersey. I'm staying in Jersey.
Good for you.
Yes.
Hoboken in honor of Sinatra?
Oh my God, I got to do something. I'm a huge Sinatra mark, so I got the mark tattooed on my arm, so I got to do something, But yeah, I got to check out Hoboken or something. But I'll be staying with Crowbar of all people. So,
oh, that's great.
Yeah. So it'll be a fun time. Fun.
Is there anything on your to-do list like you have to do this?
Not necessarily. I'm a Jets fan, so being at MetLife will be cool and seeing some of that aspect of it all. But no, I just want to make sure I get to cover what I need to cover and do that. I want to hit WrestleCon and I want to do the media day for SummerSlam and stuff. But other than that, I'm kind of an open book in certain ways too. So, do you have any recommendations?
I'm not a Jersey guy per se. I mean, you're right near the city too, but again, I'm with you. Like when I go to these events, I feel like you're always just looking at the next event. You know what I mean? You're focused on that. One of the coolest things we did was it was WrestleMania 35. We did interviews on top the 86th floor of the Empire State Building with Becky Lynch, Brian Danielson, Daniel Bryan, and Bobby Lashley. That was neat because you got a little bit of like tourism stuff and you were up there. And I don't love heights.
Yeah.
It's so protected up there. But I think all three of those people are Bobby, Becky, and Brian are so fascinating.
Oh yeah.
No, I hope you enjoy it. I hope you get a big story or two as well.
Hey, thanks. Me too. You never know. It's happened a couple times. So we'll see what goes down. But let's see what goes down here this weekend. Gunther, CM Punk World Heavyweight Championship match. Compelling stuff, I thought, on Raw between these two. What do you think about this build, and what do you think happens here at SummerSlam with these guys?
For a short 2-week build, because really Goldberg was 2 weeks ago on Saturday Night's Main Event, and we moved on to Punk. I think it's been solid. I think Raw could really use, and I like Gunther, but I think that he's a transitional champ here. I think he successfully had a nice transition to get the belt off Uso and onto Punk. I don't know if we see Rollins involved in this match. I almost think you save him for Sunday, but yeah, I am excited. I think Punk ends I know he was champion in AEW a couple of times, but it's been 2013, the Rumble, when he lost the belt to The Rock. Yeah. It's a long time, 12 years between title runs. So I think that we see Punk taste gold at SummerSlam. I'm excited for it. I think it adds a whole new flavor to Raw each Monday.
Absolutely. People were talking, I think, yesterday about what did I think about the build to SummerSlam and what we have presented. And I mean, could you think of two better main events right now, like Gunther and CM Punk, and then Cena and Cody, plus all the other stuff added onto it? I mean, I'm with you though. CM Punk, I think he wins it, and I think it's the right thing to do. Let me follow up though. So, do you think Seth Rollins will be a factor this weekend at SummerSlam?
I do, and whether he's hurt or not, I could see him throwing away the crutch and walking to the ring, and I'm not saying he's not hurt, but Seth's a great performer. But I think you save that for Sunday night. Like I think that it's a street fight, so there's no way it's going to be clean. Whatever happens on Sunday, but I think whatever happens Sunday, it's I'm sure there's going to be an abundance of shenanigans, and I think you save Rollins for Sunday. Saturday, you go with the feel good moment with Punk, and to me, if I don't know if we got your prediction yet, but I'd be curious to hear it. If Cena wins Sunday, that makes sense. You have the babyface on Saturday and the heel on Sunday, but
so I've been leaning more towards Cody winning for the fact I think they want to probably take some time to do a redemption story for Cena. I understand the aspect of like, hey, this is the story you're setting up with Cena. Like he's going to leave with the title and change all of wrestling and all that aspect of it all. And I would be more for that. I just think I think a lot of this Cena turning heel stuff was so spur of the moment that they're kind of going reactionary stuff in certain ways. I don't think there's maybe a long-term setting for some of this stuff. So I think maybe what they'll do is end cap it. If I had to make a prediction, I'm thinking maybe Cody. I'll be in favor of my bookie. How about that?
I'm excited. Like you said, the only thing I guess it's a little disappointing. It's nice to have Roman back. The tag match, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like Roman Punk would have been awesome. Roman Cena would have been awesome. But I get why they're doing the tag.
I get it too. I think it's a decent way. Kind of like an understanding that Roman's not going to be there for an extended period of time, maybe. So it's just like, okay, put him in a tag match, make it feel like a big deal. Hopefully you elevate the guys that are involved with it, particularly Braun and Bronson and stuff like that as well. And you keep Jay fresh at the same time.
And you've got to do a Roman Punk title run, right? Or title feud. Have to.
You definitely do. Have to.
Yeah.
That was what compelling television that would be in a lot of ways. Man, absolutely. Something else that's pretty compelling for the casual fan, maybe not for the ardent fan, but who knows? We got Randy Orton and Jelly Roll taking on Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul. I don't know what the status is here with Drew yet, if they got that situated. I could only imagine that things will get rectified before this, but if this match happens the way it's supposed to.
Good for the Miz for throwing his 2 cents in. He'd like to be in that match, but
hell yeah. Mm-hmm.
I'd be shocked if Drew's not back for SummerSlam.
Me too. I would be shocked as well. What do you think goes down with this one, Justin?
I think it's good. I like Jelly Roll won me over during his Tonight Show cameo when he had the wrestlers come on. Like, I like that. If you're gonna commit to this crossover, then commit to it, which I thought the Saturday Night Live guys didn't do back at WrestleMania 35. Michael Chi and Colin
Yost.
Thank you. Like, there was never a Braun Strowman appearance on SNL. Like, I thought that was an easy, especially with Mania being in Jersey, or they would call it Jersey, New York. But I think it'll be good. I think for what it is, I think he'll surprise people. He's a big guy. It seems like he got himself in shape. There's no reason to not believe the story. We'll see it firsthand, or with our own eyes, that he's been living, practically living out of the Performance Center. I like it. So, I mean, I think there's a lot of celebrity. He's a big guy too, so it's kind of believable. I hope Logan Paul takes the fall in that match. And I think it sets Randy up for his heel turn on Cody.
Yeah.
Because he's in this kind of silly feud, and now he's ruthless. He's the Viper. So I don't know. I think they turn this into something. So I'm curious. For what it's worth, it'll be entertaining.
Yes. Yeah, I think so too. And as I grow older as a fan, like something like this would have threw me off, like as a younger, like Jay Leno tagging up, with DDP was something I was like, what? But this, I understand it. And I think you can make it work, especially to your point, if Logan Paul is the one that takes the pinfall and something happens in that regard.
So as soon as McIntyre takes the fall, I mean, the internet's going to explode.
I know the internet will explode.
But hopefully it's Logan Paul.
Hopefully it's Logan Paul, or they make it make sense that why Drew takes the fall.
Right, like Sammy lost to why can't I think of Johnny Knoxville? And that was a fun match. Like, there's ways to do this the right way. So
yeah, and I said this to Robert too. I think you could do a compelling thing too, where you're turning Drew babyface and he's going up against Logan Paul, and I think that's something really fascinating.
Agreed. And especially if you turn in babyface and you turn Randy heel, that makes sense too. One of my favorite Sammy interviews, I'd have to go back and find where it was from, but somebody's asking him his favorite moment against Roman in Montreal, and he's like, "No, I'd rather talk about the Mania match with Johnny Knoxville." Sammy's an interesting cat, but yeah,
right. But what a thing to add to your resume! The aspect that you made something like that work as a wrestler. That's like such a challenge to make something entertaining.
Lemons and lemonade. Yeah,
exactly. You're turning something in that could have been awful into something that's really, really memorable. So, yeah, Sammy's great. We'll only cover a couple more matches here before we close out, but let's get your thoughts on Naomi versus Io Sky versus Rhea Ripley, the triple threat. Do you see the title changing hands here, or is Naomi staying put with the title?
I hope not. She needs time to cement herself as champion and build and that foundation. So I hope that she wins that match. I have high expectations for that match, and that's really important to her title run. So I think it would be short-sighted to have her lose it this soon after winning it.
Do you think? I don't know how the cards are set up. Could this close out Saturday? I think Punk and Gunther on Saturday, and then obviously
I thought the Punk match was promoted as the. I don't know if they ever told us the last match on. Let me check. I don't think so. I know that Saturday night is. I thought Saturday was Punk, and.
I'm not sure how it's all laid out.
I'd be surprised if it's not Punk, especially if Punk's winning the belt.
Right.
Like, to me, that's more of a moment than Naomi retaining.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm with you on that one too. Okay, so night 2, we do have Gunther and Punk, and it is not. So Naomi and Rhea Ripley are on the night 2. I'm sorry, Punk is on night 1. Naomi's match is on night 2 along with Cena. And
right. I think the Tiffany Jade Cardo match is on that one, which I'd be shocked if that closes.
Yeah, I would be too. I understand people wanting a women's main event right now. I think you just got to create the right build and stuff. A triple threat doesn't necessarily hit that, I think, in any kind of realm in certain ways. So, but yeah, it will be interesting. All right, we'll close out with this one here, Justin. What about this one? I'm intrigued by this match. I think the build has been great. One of the best feuds, I think, of the summer. Becky Lynch versus Lyra Valkyria, the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. What do you see going down here? We had some a discouraged Bailey show up on Raw and kind of be at a loss of what to do next. So where do you see this unfold?
Who you think is the next challenger for this title when she turns on Lyra? I loved it. I thought Becky was above the Intercontinental title. She turned this story into something really special in classic or signature Becky Lynch form, right? Like fashion. It's been great. I would think she does the job on that's Sunday, right?
That is Sunday, I believe. Yes.
Yeah. Yep. I think that's a match you can open the card with. I think that's a great match. And I'm not totally sold on Lyra yet. I don't think she's there yet. But, I mean, she's also – her flaws are magnified when you work with Becky Lynch and Bailey, who are two of the best in wrestling. So I'm excited to see where it goes from here. But I do think this is the end of their story on Sunday, and Becky drops the belt.
Yeah, I'm intrigued. I'm definitely intrigued. Well, is there any other one you do want to touch upon? A match that we didn't cover.
I know we have the cage match with Solo and Jacob Fatu. I'm excited. I just thought it was so clunky. The AJ return to Slammiversary. It's like they didn't know what to do with him. Do we have him announce a match? Do we not? He thanks the crowd. He puts over Leon Slater. I don't think the fan base necessarily cared, just because Leon's still so early in his rise.
Right.
I'm curious, AJ and Dom. Like, how does the crowd respond? Do they all want Dom to win? Does AJ get the IC title, which I think he does? So I'm curious. That actually match. And AJ's a proud performer. I'm sure he knows that his Mania match was a flop with Logan Paul. So I think that he'd want this to be special with Dom. So I'm a big AJ fan. I like Dom a lot too. I'm excited. And plus SummerSlam and the IC belt. Dom, like that, there's just such a history there. So I'm really excited about that.
It's a great point too. And it's like, and what a neat addition to that hierarchy, or, that whole history of that. Having Dom hold the title, I think, is really cool. I just think that's a neat added element to it all. And AJ's what a great dance partner he will be. I am intrigued because I'm a little less intrigued, maybe because what happened on Raw, like AJ getting just the straight up pinfall on Dom. Like, right. What does that indicate? Is that AJ not winning the title then? Is that what we're getting? So my wrestling brain starts kicking in of how, things
with the old Vince McMahon style of booking. Right.
So hopefully they're pulling the wool over our eyes and maybe they'll surprise us with it. But either way, I'm pretty excited for that match as well. So cool.
Hey, it's SummerSlam weekend. You're going to be there. I can't wait to hear about it. I can't wait to watch it. Like, it's just, I don't love the timing. Like, to me, SummerSlam is an end of the summer moment, but I can complain about a lot of things, but I'm excited for this weekend, both nights. I can't wait.
Me too. It'll be fun. It'll be fun being on site for all this stuff and taking in the sights and sounds of New Jersey. I'll definitely try to get a new Jets hat at some point or another, I think is on my agenda. But other than that, Justin, this has been a lot of fun. Talk about Undisputed a little bit. What you got lined up coming up here and what's more on your plate?
Undisputed.substack.com. The weekend wrestling today, we'll look at WWE Unreal, the highlights and the lowlights from that Netflix series. We'll speculate, what if TNA airs on Wednesday nights against AEW? And we'll talk about SummerSlam's main event, John Cena and Cody Rhodes. Yeah, there'll be coverage all weekend. There'll be a Sunday Notes piece. I have the MMA notebook on Friday. Speaking of, I wasn't on my bookie, but I went 5-0 with my picks last week for UFC. I should have been on my bookie, but I'm excited. And Sunday with the Boston Herald, we'll have a Ric Flair tribute to Hulk Hogan. And if you follow me at Justin Barrasso on Twitter, you'll see everything I post. Hey. And yesterday was a John Moxley story. So if you get a chance, that had the paywall up on that piece because my Tuesday column has the paywall up, but you get a taste of it without subscribing. But please, everyone subscribe, and would be grateful to have you on the Undisputed team.
You want an extra added insight, definitely go to Brasso's Undisputed and check it out. He does great work. Goes off the path sometimes with that your Jaws article I always bring up and everything like that, and that's what makes a great writer right there. So
everything connects to pro wrestling, and
absolutely,
everything.
I can always find a way to connect something to pro wrestling. If I want to try to get an interview off the wall, I'm like, there's a way I can connect it to wrestling.
Absolutely.
Definitely. So awesome, Justin. Thank you for joining us. Everybody, thank you for joining us today, too. You can catch us every Monday through Friday here on the Dominic D'Angelo X account, the @Justin Brasso. Well, he retweeted it. We're going to try to hook you up with to help you get you connected on here. But you can also check it out at the @WCreative_IshX account, the Rumor and Innuendo YouTube, the Ad-Free Shows YouTube, and Oh, You Didn't Know YouTube page. So check it out. Thank you all for tuning in. Best of luck in your future endeavors, and let's get to SummerSlam, everybody.
Robert, see you next week.